So first of all, we need to identify like a couple of the parts so that we can make sure that we've got it the right way around. And you can pick it up and handle it. It's quite cold. It's come out of the fridge. So first of all, you need to identify which side is the front and which side is the back. So you're looking for a like diagonal line that goes across the front, right? So that would be, if it was inside of my chest, that's the way it would be. This is the right hand side and this is the left hand side. And then what we can also do, if you look in the top, so if you hold it, that's it, hold it facing me, so as if it was your heart. And then if you look at the top, you should see there's two holes. Yeah, there's one nearer the front and there's one nearer the middle. Can you see that? You only see one? The one that's kind of near the front, that's the pulmonary vein. That's going to go to the lungs. And the one that's in the middle is the aorta, which is going to go all the way around the body. I'm touching the insides of these hearts. They might still be a little bit frozen. Okay, so now that we've identified the two arteries, we should identify the two veins. The veins are a lot harder to identify because they're sort of hidden. So on, like, when you go, if you put your fingers in the two arteries, which is really good fun, there should also be two other holes, but they're like big gaping holes.
Yeah.
And they are the veins.
That one? No, not that one. No.
What? Oh, it's so cold.
Oh,
Yeah. So your right finger is in the vena cava, and your left finger is in the pulmonary vein.
Oh, mine isn't.
Now this bit's going to get really cold, so warm your fingers up a little bit.
Right.
What we're going to do is we're going to track from the vena cava through the heart and out the pulmonary artery, because this is like this is the right hand side of the heart. So we're going to track round. So you're going to put your finger in the vena cava, and then you sort of have to, you can see it poking through here. You have to loop it around, and then it will come out of the pulmonary artery.
Oh,
What?
But this one?
I'll show you, and then you can do it as I do it. So we're going to start. We're going to cut the vena cava, cut down and around, and then cut parallel with the septum, and you'll come out at the pulmonary artery. Or you could start at the pulmonary artery and go down the ventricle, and then come around the atrium and out of the vena cava. It's up to you. Which way do you want to do it? It might be easier to go in the artery, actually. But we should. But then, do you want to go
Like
forward?
this?
Let's go backwards.
Like this?
Yeah, we'll do it in reverse.
Just slippery.
Yeah.
It's very slippery.
Oh, okay.
Two.
Okay. I don't know this is.
So I've taken the wall off. So this is the ventricle. So that's the artery. That's the ventricle. You can see here that's the valve
Oh, yeah.
that separates them. Got another valve here. And then this is the atrium. So the atrium is much smaller. So when I lift it up, this is the vein. This is the atrium.
Yep.
This is the valve. It passes through the valve into the ventricle, and then it goes through the ventricle and out of the pulmonary artery. And this is what stops your blood going backwards.
Oh,
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Okay, I'll come and help you. So what we're going to do is exactly the same as we just did, but you're going to start down the aorta. So let's track it actually, so that it helps you to see where you're going to go. So hold it back up again, facing you, or facing me as if it was inside your chest. Turn it around, flip it. There we go. Okay, now if you put your finger inside the pulmonary vein, and now it's probably still a bit, mine's a bit frozen still, so wiggle your finger around, get it down there,
Oh my god.
and then track it back up again. It's much harder to do this time. And out of
I'm sure it's
the aorta. It's
Yeah,
really cold.
yeah.
In fact, it might be easier to go into the aorta than around.
it's this way around, yeah?
The valve is much stronger on this side, so it's harder to get your finger through the valve.
Oh.
There we go, see? Yeah? Got it. So that's the pathway that you're going to cut this time.
Wait, like this?
Yeah, so you're going to cut down the aorta. Take some big confident strokes with your scissors. Straight down.
What?
So you're doing it basically the exact opposite of what you just did.
That was so small there.
Mm,
Nice and perfect.
well practiced. I've been doing this for 12 years. There we go. Right, so now you can see, gross, the left-hand side.
No, it's not.
So on the left-hand side, that's the atrium here, and then got the big valve, and then the ventricle, and then the aorta. And I've kind of cut through the other bit a little bit. You can also see, now that you've cut both sides, you can see the septum, which is the muscle in the middle, which actually has a little hole that you can wedge in it. And you can also compare, look how much thicker that muscle is compared to that muscle. Why do you think this side's much thicker? This side goes to the lungs, which is like your heart's here and your lungs are here, so it doesn't have to go very far. So it doesn't need to pump it very hard.
Oh.
This bit has to go pump the blood all the way up to the top of your head,
Well, that's the muscular one.
all the way down to the bottom of your feet. So this needs to have a much higher pressure. So the muscle is a lot thicker.